What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. P with another physical science update. It is Wednesday, December 2nd, and we're moving on to 5.2. I first wanted to sort of revisit the simulation that we saw in 5.1 and just go over the main. I don't know if that's going to record like that. Just go over the main ideas that we saw. Okay, so we've been talking about electrons, protons, and neutrons. Okay. The first thing I want to touch on is as we add protons, okay, there are a couple of bits of information here. It shows us the overall charge, the number of electrons, and the number of protons. And then in the top right corner here, it shows me what element is illustrated on the screen. What sort of what element is this atom of? And as I add a proton, I started with the protons because the proton, as you should have found, defines the atomic number, which defines the element. So if I have a different number of protons, I have a different number of, I have a different element. Okay, so let's add this up to carbon. We've got 6 protons. If you were to go find carbon on the periodic table, it would have an atomic number of 6. The second thing we could do is add an electron, and that doesn't change what element I have. The only bit of information that this is changing is that it is changing my charge. So if I have an even number, 6 and 6, I have 6 positives and 6 negatives. Those are going to cancel out. As soon as I end up with more negatives, I have a net negative charge. So if I have 6 negatives and 7 positives, I have a net charge of -1. Likewise, if I have more positives, I'm going to end up with an overall net positive charge. All right. I can also add neutrons here. And in this simulation, it doesn't really show us what that is doing. We'll get to that towards the end of this investigation. But neutrons, they're neutrally charged. They are not contributing to the charge of the atom, nor are they contributing to which element the atom belongs to, if you will. Okay, so just wanted to touch base on how our electrons, protons, and neutrons affect the composition of an atom before we move on to 5.2. All right, moving on here. Again, we are in Unit 1, Investigation 5, Activity 5.2. Excuse me, I did actually test positive for COVID. I'm doing my best to keep up with you guys, but I am feeling kind of crummy, so please do bear with me in the next couple of days. Anyway, 5.2, discussion, a little warm-up here. It's asking you to recap 5.1, sort of pretty much what I just talked about. And then there's a check for understanding here. As we go through 5.2 on the Interactions website, again, sort of a recap here. Okay, it is asking us about some experiments that we should have done in the past. We don't need to do those here. We have plenty of information. It says interaction with positive tape, interaction with negative tape. So remember how our positive and negative charges interact. If we have 2 of the same charges, so a positive and positive, a negative and a negative, they're going to repel, like you see here. And if they are oppositely charged, they are going to attract, like you see here. So you should be able to make an inference about what the charges of these objects are. So this is just going to be a positive or negative. Okay, so if it's repelling negative, then I'm going to say this one is negative. And if it's attracting a negative, I'm going to say this one is positive. And you're going to go on and so on and so forth throughout that table. Working through here, just a couple other questions. Another pretty short activity. But we're chugging along here. We're working on finishing up Investigation 5. As always, shoot me any questions. Like I said, I'm trying my best to keep up with you guys. But I have been feeling kind of crummy the past couple days, so do bear with me. And yeah, any other questions, shoot them to me on Schoology, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.